Lesson 7.7, multiplying polynomials. In the last lesson, we multiplied a single term times a polynomial. This time, we're going to focus on multiplying two binomials together. And there's a couple ways we can do this. One way is using distributive property, or we can use the FOIL method. Now let me show you each method, and then when it's done, you can decide which method you prefer, and that's the one you should do. So to start this off, here's how a problem is written horizontally in example 1a. In the beginning, there's a z, and that's represented here. And then with that z is a minus 6, which is represented here by the minus 6's. Now, in order to do distributive property, both the z and the negative 6 have to multiply both things in the other parenthesis. So we'll start. Z has to multiply the second z, and then it has to multiply the negative 12. Now, once that's complete, you then look at the negative 6. It's going to have to multiply the z also, and then multiply the negative 12 also. So both the z and the negative 6 are going to multiply both parts of the second parenthesis. Now let's actually do this and see what the answer comes out to be. Z times z, z squared. Z times negative 12, negative 12z. Negative 6 times z, negative 6z. Negative 6 and negative 12 will make a positive 72. Now if you notice, I do have some like terms. They're going to need to be combined. So our final answer will be z squared. A negative 12 and a negative 6 make negative 18z plus 72. And that is our final answer. So when you do these, you should have two terms that combine together. They should be the ones in the middle. All right, that's how you can do the problem horizontally. If you prefer the vertical method, I'll show that to you now. So the problem started out horizontally. The y plus 8, we put that on top. We put the y minus 4 on the bottom. So start by multiplying by negative 4. Negative 4 times 8, negative 32. And then negative 4 times y, negative 4y. Now when you did this in elementary school and you multiplied a two-digit number times a two-digit number, after you did 2 times 3 and got 6 and 2 times 2 and got 4, most of you put a 0 down to move over for when you start multiplying by 1, and then 1 times 2, and then you added them up. Well, the same thing has to happen over here. You need to put a 0 there underneath the 32. And then do y times 8. That's 8y. Notice the 0 shifted it over so that the 8y lines up with the negative 4y. And then y times y makes y squared. Combine the like terms. Y squared just drops down. A negative 4 and a positive 8 make positive 4. And then the negative 32 drops down. And that's how you do it vertically. Now, it's your choice. Do it horizontally or vertically. Doesn't matter. You get the same answer. All right, slide 2. Here are two problems for you to try. So pause here and try these two problems on your own. Okay, number 2a. First up, we're going to take 5m and times it by both 8m and negative 1. So 5 times 8 is 40 m squared. 5m times negative 1 is negative 5m. Now that we've multiplied everything by 5m, we'll go on to the 2. And 2 has to multiply both parts. So 2 times 8m is 16m. Now, I don't like to write it afterwards. I'm going to write that directly underneath my 5m because I like to line up my like terms. And then 2 times negative 1 makes negative 2. Now, if you notice, to get my final answer, my like terms are lined up in the middle. I drop my 40m squared down, negative 5, and a positive 16. So that's 16 minus 5 is 11. And then the minus 2 drops down also. And that's your answer. Now B, do it the same way. 9a multiplied by 7a. 63a squared. 9a times 4. 36a. Done there. Move on to the negative 8. Multiply it first by 7a. Negative 56a. Negative 8 times 4. Negative 32. Like terms are lined up. Drop the 63, a squared, positive 36, and negative 56a. Combine that together, negative 56 plus 36, that's negative 20a. Drop the negative 32, and there's your answer. Again, horizontal, vertical, doesn't matter. Just multiply all the terms together, and then combine the two like terms. All right, slide 3. FOIL method. FOIL is a 4-letter word that stands for 4 steps. It's a mnemonic to help you remember how to multiply. Now, FOIL is not a new method. It's just a way to remember what we just did. The F stands for first. The O stands for outside. Inside for I. And last is the L. So what this means is, in order to do FOIL in the example that we have here, number 2, we look for the first term of each parenthesis. So the F, the first, will be the first term of each parenthesis. So the first term is 4h and h. So under the F, I'm going to multiply a 4h and an h. I'm writing this down to help explain it to you. Now to multiply that together, it's just going to be 4h squared. Now the outside. The outside is the two numbers furthest out. And the furthest out is the 4h and the 7. They're on the outside of this problem. So I'm going to multiply a 4h and a 7. 4h times 7 is a 28h, positive. Now, the inside is which terms are on the inside. Now, the two that are on the furthest to the inside is the h and the 5. So they're on the inside. So 5 times h just makes 5h. And then finally, the last. It's the last term in each parenthesis. 7 is last in the second parenthesis. 5 is last in that parenthesis. So you'd multiply 5 times 7. That's 35. Now, you notice I still have 4 answers because I need to combine the like terms. The two in the middle combine together. 28 and 5 make 33h. And everything else just drops down. And that's your answer. Now, FOIL is not a new method. It's distributive property with words to help you remember how to do it. All right, down here is one for you to try. So go ahead and apply FOIL to answer B. All right, you should be done. 5x is the first, and 2x is the first. Multiply them together, that is 10x squared. outside. 5x and 8. They're both on the outside. 5 times 8, 40x. Inside, negative 4 and 2x. A negative 4 and a positive 2 make negative 8x. And last, negative 4 is last, along with negative 8. Together they make negative 32. Again, combine your like terms. 40x minus 8, 40 minus 8, 32x, and then bring your minus 32 down. And that is your final answer. All right, so if you like distributive property, you like full, you like vertical, doesn't matter. Pick the one that works best for you. Next slide. All right, not all of the time will you be multiplying a binomial and another binomial. Sometimes we get bigger. We're going to have to multiply a binomial, that's 3a to the 4th, times a trinomial. That's going to have 3 terms. But the same principle of distributive property applies. You're going to take 3a and times it by all 3 parts. So 3a times a squared, 3a times negative 12a, and then 3a times 1. After you've done all of that, you're going to multiply 4 times the 3 parts. 4 times a squared, 4 times negative 12a, and 4 times 1. So you have to take what's in the first parenthesis and multiply it by every part of the second parenthesis. Now let's actually do that. 3a and a squared, 3a cubed. 3a and negative 12a, negative 36a squared. 3a times 1, 3a. Multiply by 4. 4 times a squared is 4a squared. 4 times negative 12, negative 48a. 4 times 1, 4. Now, let's combine our like terms. Negative 36a squared gets combined with the 4a squared. So negative 36, positive 4 makes negative 32a squared. Also going to have to combine 3a and negative 48. 3a minus 48, negative 45a. Then we got 2 terms that didn't combine. The plus 4, drop it on the end. The 3a cubed, put that on the front because it's the biggest a. It's got a cubed. Again, exponents go down. 3, 2, 1, 0. Now this is distributive property. Now, if you're not understanding this at all, I saved the best way for those that need some organization. So, it looks like tic-tac-toe. We're going to do B. Now, what this is a multiplication table. If you remember, back in elementary school, we would put numbers in here, and then you learned your times table. 1 times 1 makes 1. 1 times 2 makes 2. 1 times 3 makes 3. Then the next row, 2 times 1 makes 2. 2 times 2 makes 4. 2 times 3 makes 6. Then you do the next row. 3 times the 1 at the top makes 3. 3 times the 2 makes 6. And 3 times 3 makes 9. This is a multiplication table. Well, that's exactly what we're going to do with the polynomials. So, we're going to take the first polynomial, put it in the first 3 spots. 2b squared, 7b, 9. We're going to take the other polynomial, make it go down the left side. Remember, don't use the first box. b squared, 3b, minus 1. Now we're going to start multiplying. We'll start out with the b squared times 2b squared. That's 2b cubed. and then b squared, and 7b. That's 7. Oh, I'm sorry. That was a b to the 4th. 7b cubed. And then lastly, b squared times 9 makes 9b squared. Now let's do the next row. 3b, okay, we're on the next row. 3b times 2b squared. 3 times 2 makes 6b cubed. 3b times 7b, 21b squared. And lastly, 3b times 9, 27b. And then the last row is multiplying by -1. Now, if you multiply by -1, you don't change the numbers, you just change their signs. So all of these just become minuses. Now, take all of those red spots, and that's going to be your answer. But notice, look what happens diagonally. The diagonals have your like terms. So the first answer is 2b to the 4th. Nothing happens with it. The second answer is in green. The 3b, the 6b cubed, and the 7b cubed make 13b cubed. That's the green part. And then in yellow, 9b squared, 21. 9 and 21 make 30. Minus 2 is 28b squared. That's the middle. The blue is 27b minus 7. That's 20b, 27 minus 7. And then the last step is the minus 9. And that's the answer. So if you're overwhelmed with these problems, use the times table, and then your like terms are going to be diagonally in the middle. Okay? We have one more I'm going to do in the chart. So I'm going to flip to the last slide. You should pause here, try this one on your own. I'm going to start filling it in, and then show you how to get the answer once more. Okay. We're going to multiply going across first. 4m squared with m squared is 4m to the 4th. 4m and 2m, 8m cubed. 4m, -3, -12m squared. Now, let's multiply on the second row. -7m and m squared, -7m cubed. -7m and 2m, -14m squared. -7m and -3, +21m. Now let's do the last step. Multiply by 5. 5 times m squared, 5m squared. 5 times 2m, 10m. 5 times -3, -15. Now, these answers need to be combined, and we'll get our final answer. So again, diagonal, diagonal, diagonal. First answer is up here in the corner in red, 4m to the 4th. And then diagonally in yellow, 8m cubed minus 7m cubed. 8 minus 7 is 1. So that's just 1m cubed. In the green, we have a -12 and a -14. Put that together is -26. Plus 5 is -21 m squared. That's the green part in the middle. Use your calculator if you're not sure how I got that. In blue, there's a +10 and a 21. Together they make 31m. And then the final part is the negative 15 doesn't have anything to combine with. And that's your answer. Please notice that this is in standard form. It goes 4, 3, 2, 1 on the exponents. And this is how you multiply polynomials together. This chart may seem like more work, but it actually organizes everything so that you can get each problem right. And it's important that you find the method that works best for you, that you can get these problems right. All right, good luck.